And welcome back, everybody, to the TV show, joined again by special guest star Gail Cataldi. We have Angelo Cataldi here. Rhea is not available today, so it's just going to be the three of us. Guys, how are you?
I just want to start by wishing well for Rhea's beautiful dog, Judy. She's under the weather right now, and everybody out there say a prayer for Judy, because that's why Rhea couldn't make it today. But Judy's a great dog, and I hope everything's okay.
I agreed 100%.
And I'm hitting right from the gym.
Yeah, she just came right from the gym, and I dragged her up here, and I said, we're going to talk about Succession, and then I pinned her in so she can't leave. So she's going to give us all the other great female insights that normally Rhea gives us.
Absolutely. And you'll look phenomenal, Gail. We should all look so good coming back from the gym. This is me attempting to look good, and I look like one of the homeless people that float around Myrtle Beach. So let's jump right into what I thought was one of the most spectacular hours of TV that I have ever seen. I'm going to say right up front, we're going to spoil Succession. So if you haven't seen season 4, episode 3, now's the time to turn it off. Go watch it. If you've never seen the show, now's the time to turn off the podcast. Go watch all 4 seasons and then come back to the podcast. Because not only was it a spectacular hour of television, it was a surprising hour of TV. If you don't know what happened, the main antagonist of the show, some would say the main, the sun by which all the planets of the show orbit around, Logan Roy, died this episode. And they killed him off in a very interesting way. They killed him off basically off screen, with no great speeches. You don't even see him for about 5 minutes. We learn about it in a phone call from Tom to the siblings. And before I continue to ramble, because I can ramble for hours, Gail, what'd you think of it? Do you agree with me that it was one of the most spectacular hours that has ever been put on TV?
It was wow.
Yeah.
Angelo actually watched it with me. And before it started, I said, I repeat this a lot because I like to hear what they call each other. So I go back and listen. I was mesmerized. And I looked at him so many times. I go, this is not the normal show.
No.
Acting was phenomenal. They were so awkward. They didn't know how to handle it. And even Connor goes, well, he never liked me.
Right. What an interesting thing to say. Yeah. When you find out about your dad.
It was everything.
I'm a connoisseur of television. I am not a connoisseur of Succession. What I said to Gail when it was over was, Gail, if the first few episodes were like this, I would have been addicted. It was what Gail just said. Yeah. They couldn't have executed a big move better than they did, because it was just so, it wasn't smooth. All these terrible people were reacting to a tragedy. At one point, he even said to Gail, aren't they happy? Because now one of them is going to be succeeding, which is the concept of the show. What I don't understand, maybe you could explain, Jay. You just said how surprising it was that the patriarch died, all right?
Yeah.
Well, the name of the show is Succession, and we know it's the last season. Aren't they at some point have to kill him off to see who's going to be the king of the castle?
Agreed. But here... Oh, go on. I want to hear what you said.
It was just all cutthroat. I mean, they were all just trying to succeed. They all wanted this business. They all wanted to cut each other out. So I never thought that there was going to be a death thing in there.
Yeah. I'm in between you guys, because I thought that there was going to be a death. I thought that Logan dying had to happen. Here's the thing. To prep for this show, I did a whole bunch of looking up for the most surprising TV episodes of all times, like the what culture list of. All of them are season premieres or season finales, right? Some big thing happens at the end of the season to get you a cliffhanger for the next season. None of the most surprising episodes are the 3rd episode of the show, where you are, watching a season. Any other show would have killed him off in episode 9 and then done an episode 10, a funeral, and all the storylines get wrapped up. instead of doing it here where no one was expecting it, and then reconceptualizing what the next 7 episodes of the show are going to be, because we all had it in our heads. They're going to tread water. They're going to go back and forth. The old man is doing what the old man always does. Now that he's gone, I don't know what's going to happen over the next 7 episodes. And
what was fascinating that you said, Jay? They didn't have the big ending for the guy. This guy's Brian Cox, right? He's a major actor. You got no death scene.
Nope.
You just see him on the floor of the plane, and people are giving him the CPR, and he doesn't say, the last thing he says is to fire the woman, right? There's some woman there
Jerry.
he had needed.
Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah, Jerry had to get fired by the nerdy guy. I don't know the name.
Yeah.
It was it was great. I'll tell you right now. I know great TV. That was great television. Period.
One thing
but you're wrong about no one ever getting fired in the middle of a season, because it did happen recently.
Really?
And it still bothers me. Season 4, Showtime, The Affair. This begins a sequence on Miss Ruth Wilson, who I love.
Sure.
Season 4, no one knows there's a problem. She's unhappy because the sex is rather graphic. She's with Dominic West, the great English actor from The Wire. He's phenomenal. And she thinks the sex is too intense. She keeps bitching and bitching to the producers of The Affair. They kill her off. Season 4, episode 8. There's still to go. They understand the whole show is that she's having an affair with Dominic West. What are we doing now? And they did another season, which sucked because they just had to get rid of her because she was so upset about the conduct on the set. So it does happen. But the one thing it does in almost every case is it ruins the show.
Right. Well, this one was planned. They talked about this, as the season was unwinding, that, they knew it was coming. They built all of the the trailers and everything were built around the idea that you're only going to see from the first 2 episodes. They didn't even send out streamers for this, screeners to different people. One thing I will say, I don't know if you guys stuck around and watched the after show. But they talked about how they shoot this show on film, not digital, which is insane to me. If you know anything about, production, that the expense of shooting on film is just, HBO money. But they shot that entire sequence of the siblings as a 30-minute 1-act play. And they said they had 3 cameras running and they had film hidden all over the set so they could film it in real time. And they said that they were, they didn't do it as one shot, but they kept bringing up, like they had film canisters hidden that they would pop out and they would do quick changes so that they could run through that entire segment once uncut. And, as someone, we've lost parents. One of the things that I thought was great about it was it actually duplicated the feeling of getting that phone call of someone close to you dying, where you go from disbelief to, wait, what's happening? Wait, what are you telling me? What? And then you try to get control over the situation. And then you get to an acceptance level of, well, I got to get there. We got to get, what's going to happen. Better than I've ever seen that handled on television in my entire life. I mean, I can't talk enough. Angela, go back and watch the rest of the show. You're going to love it. I promise you, it's so good.
No, I will not. But I am announcing, and this will really please my wife, who's dying for more time with me. I will watch the rest of the final season.
Yes, we can talk about it.
It was that good. It was that good. And you're right. They nailed it. You couldn't have done a better job of springing a shock like that as well as they did. It was great.
The only question we have now is how many Emmys do the main characters get? Because there's only so many you can give out. Right. I mean, Brian Cox gets Best Supporting, or does Roman, Kieran Culkin get it? Sarah Snook, who I didn't know was English. Did you guys know she's English? I had no idea until I heard her talk. It's
Alan Ruck will not get it. He's the 4th brother.
Connor,
he already got Marielle Enos, who's his wife, which I sprung on Gail in the middle of the show.
Yes.
Because we watch Lucky Hank, and she's She's Bob Odenkirk's wife in that show,
Right.
and he outkicked coverage.
Well, Angelo, you know all about that. So let's HBO absolutely crushing it. Let's talk about something that is not doing great, which I sent you guys the article from the Hollywood Reporter. This was from last week. A woman named Kim Masters did an unbelievable job digging into the problems of what's happening at Amazon Prime Video and the amount of money that is gushing out of this corporation. $1 billion they spent. We talked about this last year when we did our winners and losers, and I said that Amazon was the big loser for spending $1 billion on this Lord of the Rings show. Well, it comes out it had an under 40% completion rate in the United States. Could you $1 billion they spent? And people didn't even watch the show. It's unbelievable. They have a show called The Citadel that they're doing with the Russo brothers that they spent $300 million on. And it's only 8 episodes. And they had to do massive reshoots. I wanted to talk a little bit about, their approach and where you think streaming stands. Who's winning, who's losing, who's doing this correct in your mind, Angelo?
Well, Jay, here's the thing, right? The thing that blew my mind was that Daisy Jones and the Six, which to me, I think to Gail too, it's the best TV show we've seen this calendar year.
Yeah, we loved it. We all loved it. It's great.
They spent $140 million.
How? How?
An episode. And I was trying to think, well, wait, they didn't blow things up. What did they do? No. And the thing was, they had a great show, Daisy Jones and the Six.
Yeah.
Did they promote it?
Yeah.
Did they get that show? I'll bet it had a much better completion rate, Jay. But did they get that show out to where on Netflix, whenever Netflix has got something, they email me, say, there's a show we think you're going to like coming up. This woman is the #1 Amazon customer in America, right? They don't email us. They don't let you know. They're not good at promoting a good product when they have one.
Right.
But they overspend for everything. They need somebody who's got better ideas than the ideas they've been coming up with, because they're blowing money, and they're really right now on our ranking, on my ranking, they're 4th. They're 4th of the streamers.
What are your top 3?
Well, in no particular order, because it varies from week to week. Right. I'm loving Amazon. I'm loving what's the name? Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Apple Plus has had a lot of great stuff on it lately. Before that, I was really into Hulu. Hulu had a whole bunch of things. And Netflix is, if nothing else, Netflix will always give you a good documentary every week.
Right.
You'll always get one thing that week that you can watch that's pretty good. So Netflix is solid. Apple Plus and Hulu are good. And Amazon, when they finally get something good, doesn't know what to do with it. Amazon's 4th.
What's interesting, I think, is that Amazon and Netflix come out of the data-driven world where they look like, the famous story about Netflix was they greenlit House of Cards because their data showed that anytime a David Fincher movie was on their platform, it would do very well. And anytime a Kevin Spacey movie was on their platform, it would do very well. So the data said, well, if Kevin Spacey and David Fincher are working together, give them $100 million and let them go. So that's their world. And Amazon comes out of that world and the article talks about how they let customer reviews sort of dictate what the next show will be, which is why it's so many white guys with guns is the joke that they make in the article. Versus Apple, who, even though they have the capability of doing data-driven stuff, their solution was go to HBO and hire all the creative executives from HBO at double their salaries and let them pick and choose winners. And it seems to me AI might be coming, but I want a human being who's been doing this for 30 years to go, this is a good show, let's put this on. Because I agree with you. I think Apple TV is knocking it out of the park. I love HBO. I think I'm such a Succession head, but I mean, between that and the White Lotus, they still are the best place to find a show you probably won't see anywhere else and spend the money on it. But yeah, I think if there's that old line from Henry Ford, right? If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have told me a faster horse. I think that's true. You know, if you ask people what they want, they don't quite know. You need an expert still to kind of tell you.
I find it ironic. I find it ironic that you're using House of Cards as an example, since Kevin Spacey ended up getting disgraced.
Yes,
and they wrote him out of the final season, and they ruined the show.
100%. That
Now,
final
they should have
season,
ended, right?
yeah,
That happens all the time. When you got a main character, for whatever reason, you get rid of them, the show's never as good. I'm
Yeah.
going to be fascinated to see if you guys still love Succession without the patriarch.
it'll be interesting to see if they can sustain it for 7 more episodes. I think they'll be able to. And listen, Gail, I think you're with me. I watched those people talk. If they did a spinoff where it was just Greg and Tom having conversations at a diner, I'd watch every week because it's great. All right, so we're talking about streamers. I sent you one other article. It was late breaking yesterday. We've been following the DirecTV Sunday Ticket YouTube stuff for a long time. The pricing came out for YouTube TV to get I keep saying DirecTV, the Sunday Ticket, where you can watch all the NFL games, and it's well over $400 if you don't have it. I think I don't have the exact numbers. I'll look it up. It's like $375 if you already subscribe. It's an increase from what they were charging on DirecTV. And Angelo, I know you have a lot of opinions about this. Is this going to actually work? Are people going to do this in your mind?
I would like to do a role play, keeping in mind I am now a retiree on a fixed income, and Gail Cataldi is in charge of bills. All right, so let's try to role play. Hey, honey, I think I'm going to get YouTube TV. It's $450. Is that a month? Is that
No,
month?
for the whole thing. For the whole thing. Yeah.
You sure? It's
I'm looking it up now.
$450, honey. What do you think?
Will it keep you quiet?
No, it's not going to work. No one's going to buy it. No one's going to buy it. You understand? Just give me Red Zone channel. I say this every week, Jay.
Yeah.
I got the Eagle games and I got Red Zone. That's all I need. And I did that football thing for a long time. And that's all any football fan needs. YouTube is in for a rude awakening. They paid way too much money for that package.
$2 billion a year they paid. It's $349 for the season if you are by an early bird special. $449 if you're not. Right. And if you want the Red Zone, it's $489 for the whole package. So you got to pay $10 a month extra for the Red Zone.
No way.
Is insane.
No one's going to pay $500. Yeah. No. It won't happen, Jay. It's a disaster about to happen.
Yeah. And, a lot of people thought, me included, because of the amount of money that Google has to spend, that they might have gotten the $2 billion and just use it as a loss leader to get people over. Because if they had come in and said $99 for the whole package, I feel like a lot of people would sign up for YouTube TV and do that. Because $100 to get all the NFL games, I think people would have done. But they're not doing that. They're going to try to make a profit on it. And it's, even DirecTV was losing $500 million a year on the thing. And that they were charging $100 less. So I think you're right. I think it fails miserably. And, the NFL is going to be fine because they're making $2 billion a year off of this. But this package is a useless package.
Absolutely correct. I am prepared here, Jay, to do Rhea's work for her.
Oh, you have some British stuff. Segment. What? You have a British segment, Angelo?
Wilson. I mentioned Ruth Wilson. Luther, the show that broke Idris Elba.
Yes.
Is great. You can watch it on BritBox. Just watch the first 3 seasons. After that, they write out Ruth Wilson. I think she has a problem. After a couple of years, she gets bored. And then the show sucked. So listen to this. They had her in the first 3 seasons. Great, right? 4th season, not in it. Sucked. Bring her back. She had died. They bring her back from the dead. And she's in the 5th season. Good season. They do a movie that came out recently. She's not in it. Sucked.
Really?
Here's the constant.
Ruth
Watch
Wilson.
Luther just the first 3 seasons. Once she died, just keep her dead.
Two
Because
things.
it wasn't worth bringing back.
Two things I'll say about this. One, I love Idris Elba. Two, I'm worried my wife is going to hear this and ask the producers to write her out of the marriage. She's just going to go, listen, it's too much. Could you just write me out, send me somewhere else on a vacation for a while?
The next thing I want to do here.
Yes.
Please bear with me here, because this is also going to be my segment. No, I am recommending Tetris, which is a movie on Apple Plus, which is really good.
Right.
But I'll get more into it next week, because since we have the rare opportunity to have Gail here,
Yes.
I would like to get some feedback from our emailers and from you, Jay, on whether I'm a loser or she is narrow-minded. Right? I'm always looking for a binge.
Right.
And I have run out right now, right? So I'm looking around. And I don't know, I was on Hulu and I went, Felicity, right?
Yeah.
The woman from The Americans. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Anyway, Kerry Russell. Kerry Russell.
Right. Kerry Russell. And I say, let's check this out.
Yeah.
So we watched the first episode. And then she says to me, this is a teenage show, the Teen Corner, for girls.
Yeah.
What do you mean, No, it is a well-made relationship show about kids at college. What am I missing here? Look at the face.
I mean, it's very good.
It's good.
So here's what I say. You're both right. You're both right. It is a teenage girl show, but it was also created and written by J.J. Abrams, one of the best writers in Hollywood, who has done the Star Trek movies, Star Wars movies, big, huge properties. So, I think that a genre show like that, if it's done well, it can be appreciated by anybody. So you're both correct. It is a teenage girl show, but by one of the best writers out there. So I'm okay with it. I think it's not a loser move to watch. That's my diplomatic answer.
No, but I ask her, Jay, I'm asking her after every show if she wants to hang in, because I'm watching it, enjoying the show, and feeling embarrassed. Do you think we should keep watching Felicity?
As soon as you're done, I'm going to give you Gilmore Girls.
Oh, God. See, this is the thing. And this exposes a larger problem in our marriage, Jay. And this addresses directly what you do. You write romantic shows for Lifetime, right?
Yes.
That's what you do. I love rom-coms.
Right.
So we're sitting down watching any rom-com. 3 minutes in, she'll say to me, they're going to end up together. Is it that obvious? You write this stuff, Jay. Do you always set it up so that you can tell right away who's going to end up with who?
In my line of work, yes, because I've been told many times by the people, the powers to be, that they don't want mystery. They want to know what's going to happen. So let them know ahead of time what's going to happen. Which, by the way, I should take a moment here. April 22nd, mark your calendars, everybody. My new movie premieres on Lifetime. Her Fiance's Double Life will be out April 22nd, 8 p.m. Gail, you might want to watch it. It's not Angelo's cup of tea, but it's good. My new one's coming out.
Wait a minute. I'm the one that likes this garbage. Shows. I didn't mean garbage.
Well, this isn't a romance. This is a murder one. This is a good looking.
Why wouldn't I want?
I mean, I would love for you to check it out. It's a good looking bad guy. He's shirtless a lot, Gail. You'll like that. And we got a couple of pretty girls in there. And
I'm in April 22nd, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Lifetime. Her Fiance's Double Life. Yeah.
I didn't know she liked shirtless. Maybe we'll do this podcast.
Hey, we got banned on YouTube just at you mentioning that, Angela. I just got a text from them. We're out. So, did you have a specific one you wanted to mention besides those, Angela? We usually do that, or did you want to wait till next week to talk Tetris?
Just want to say Tetris. Wow, Tetris is Tetris is a terrific movie.
Yeah.
It's Taron Egerton is in it. It's just a really interesting inside story based on truth of how Tetris became the juggernaut in Russia, and it's fascinating. It's brilliantly done. Great job by Apple Plus. It's very much worth your 2 hours. Tetris, check it out on Apple Plus.
And I'm going to give a quick recommendation myself, because I believe it's coming out on Amazon soon, but I saw it in the theaters. Air, the new Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie. Did you see it?
Hold on. First time we went to the movies in over 3 years. Funny, how was it?
It was great.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Loved it. And here was the thing, Jack. So we're watching the previews, right?
Yeah.
And there were 7 previews prior to it.
Too many.
In every one of the 7 previews, there was a big explosion.
Yes.
And it was all Marvel cartoon blowing stuff up. And by the 3rd one, I'm saying to it, did they think they can't make a movie right now that doesn't blow something up?
Right.
And then we get to our film, nothing blew up except the sneaker itself, which was a big hit.
Yeah.
No, it's a terrific movie. It's old-fashioned movie making. They tell you a story, Jay. Imagine that.
It was under 2 hours, and they got charismatic, good actors to say witty dialogue and told a story. And I'm just sitting there, smile on my face, going, I don't think I've seen a movie like this in the theater in decades. Do more of this.
Nope.
If Ben Affleck said, I'm going to make one of these a year, I'm going to be at every single one, because it was great. If you get a chance, go see it in the theater. But if you don't, it'll be on Amazon.com soon enough. So loved it. I'm glad you guys feel the same, because it was wonderful.
My only criticism was, being the grandmom of young teens.
Yeah.
When the agent went off, and it was like all this vulgarity and all, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like young kids in this audience, and I'm like, was that really necessary? But Angelo said that's the way that it is.
Just David Falk.
David Falk,
notorious for that, but she's right. You didn't need it.
Other than that, it's a perfect family movie to take, like, older queens to.
It was, I can't get over her. It makes me want to go to the movies again, but I saw the previews and all those movies stink. So no, I'm not going.
Well,
but it was great. It was well worth that time.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, let me give you what we got.
Let's do it.
We talked about Succession. That, of course, is on HBO at HBO Max. The Affair we mentioned, that's on Showtime. You can always get that on Showtime. They give you all the episodes for free. It's on Prime. Felicity, you should see it, even if you're an aging male. It's on Hulu. Tetris is on Apple Plus, and Air is in movies. It will be out on Prime because they made the movie.
Yes.
So it will eventually be free on Amazon Prime.
Guys, thank you so much. Rhea, our thoughts are with you. We hope that Judy gets better soon. But Gail, you did a phenomenal job jumping in. Thank you so much for guest hosting with us all episode. If you enjoyed the episode, guys, please rate and review us on YouTube, and always leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We're always happy to hear from you. Gail Cataldi, Angelo Cataldi, thank you so much. You guys were awesome. I hope you have a great rest of the day.